Hello, my darlings. This is Alicia again. So I just would like to, so first of all, I'm going to prepare today a smoothie, a fruit smoothie again, with pineapple, strawberries, bananas again, but this time maybe I'll add some kiwi, maybe we'll add some blueberries, I'm not quite sure. We'll add avocado, and maybe I will put the small reel right now after this video. But in this video, I just wanted to basically kind of have some clarifications about my vegan lifestyle, right? Because many of us maybe not fully understanding that veganism is a different path for everyone, different type of, I would say, process, and the path at which people basically come to the vegan lifestyle in that sense, right? So our paths are very unique, our paths are very authentic, our paths are very, I would say, very individual, right? Because we are very unique, we are very authentic, we are very individual in that sense. The path to veganism, basically, it was through the spiritual awakening, through the spiritual development, through the expansion of the consciousness, through the, I would say, within the natural flow, As I stated in my beach video that I was laying down and talking on the beach, but at this time I don't think it's the best, I would say, place to actually prepare the videos because the quality of the sound was not that great. So I just would like to add a little bit more clarity about my basically path to veganism. Again, so I came to veganism, as you guys know, and I don't want to be redundant in that sense, but I kind of want to add a little bit more clarity to everything that we were discussing previously in that sense. So my path to veganism is through the spiritual awakening, right? The infinite consciousness, infinite intelligence brought me to this lifestyle because this is our authentic, this is our natural, this is our cruelty-free, I would say murder-free way for our beings to actually prosper and develop here on earth and become a true stewards for the natural world around us and for the all living beings in that sense, right? For the benefit of self and for the benefit of all in that sense, because all is self, as I stated previously. I wanted to add a little bit more clarity as well, because the physical exercises, the strength physical exercises, they went to almost to non-existent in that sense, especially in 2025, where majority of 2025 I spent in bed. As I stated within my beach video, almost like my system basically rebooted itself. It's kind of, I would say, restarted. So it's a complete die-off of the old activities, of old type of habits, of old everything, right? And so it seems like my body, even though in 2024 I still was kind of lightly exercising, riding my bike, going for hikes, still the activity started to slow down in 2024. Year 25, also kind of very light exercises on the beginning of the year. However, towards the middle of the year, complete stop in all exercising. Not even, sometimes I didn't even have strength to do even the yoga in that sense, right? So I did some stretching and whatnot, and I started basically, and I spent majority of my transformation in bed. I was very weak. I would say my food preferences were changing. My way of life was changing. My mom, she stayed with me at that time. She was kind of worried about me. She said, Alicia, are you sure you're okay? I said, yes, mom, because this process of expansion, this process of actually transformation, it was communicated to me. So this infinite consciousness, infinite intelligence was leading me, kind of guiding me step by step in that sense. They said, Alicia. So I remember myself when I was laying in bed at the end of August and September, and so last year, I would say kind of from middle of July to the end of, I would say, not middle of July, end of July to the end of August, I still was going to the beach in that sense, and I was swimming pretty much every day. However, at the end of August, I went into this kind of bed, in bed, right? I went into bed, and I was staying there for days in that sense. And my window was open, so there was a beautiful weather. There was a sunshine. People were going to the beaches and whatnot. And so I could not even lift my hand or lift my legs in that sense to get up out of bed in that sense, right? However, Infinite Consciousness, they communicated to me that, Alicia, please trust the process, follow the process, because whatever you're doing right now, it's basically not just for yourself, it's for the future of, I would say, for the future of the common consciousness, which is we're going to do some major great things through the spiritual awakening and through my path in that sense, right? And so by the end of 2025, I lost a lot of muscle. Right? Right now, I started exercising. So right now, you kind of, I don't know, I don't have like muscles to show yet. However, I started doing strength exercises, I would say only in July in that sense. And so any time of like this very major, I would say, change, every like major transformation within our life, it's a big stress on our body, but stress in a good sense, right? So we're breaking old habits, we're breaking old parts of ourselves and breaking old, I would say, breaking basically the old version of ourselves that we can die. This old version of ourselves can actually die, and we can be reborn again anew in our new state of consciousness and our new state of being in that sense, and our new kind of, it's a new life. So it's kind of a death and it's rebirth, okay? And so only this year and only in recent, I would say, month or so, I started having this kind of strength right now to do strength exercises and whatnot. And so that's my path. And additionally, I wanted to let you know that some people might think, oh, with the vegan lifestyle, you need to be very careful. You need to take all your vitamins and all your minerals and make sure blah, blah, blah. So you're following kind of like a nutritionist diet in that sense, kind of have a proper nutritional intake. However, guys, I wanted to let you know, so our body, our system here, whatever we're already a super intelligent system in that sense. We are infinite consciousness that is materialized in the physical vessel. And since infinite consciousness, it is infinite in that sense, it was existing infinitely, right? So all the knowledge, everything that we need is already within. So we don't really need to rely on kind of experts in that sense, right? Because as we know, the system which is currently designed, which we currently project every present moment, it's not in the system's interest to hold the people, I would say, healthy, independent thinkers, creative. So all of the systems in that sense, within the system, all of the fields within the system, they were overtaken in that sense, right? So there is a lot of corruption in many systems within our life, like educational system, medical system, right? Political system, economical, financial system in that sense. So because the system is not interested to basically keep us healthy, to keep us independent thinkers, to keep us creative in that sense, because the system is unable to control the awakened person, as I stated previously. So the whole intelligence is within. And of course, I look right now, I'm actually following a few, I would say, very healthy vegans in that sense, right? They are bodybuilders, and they are basically know about all of these amino acids, about the minerals, about the vitamins and whatnot. And so I kind of listening to them, and some of them are switching even to raw veganism in that sense, right? And so I'm kind of feeling with my heart and feeling with my the inner source that is within me. I'm listening to this voice, to this inner voice, if this is going to basically work for me, if this one resonates with me. So if something really resonates with me and I want to implement it within my diet, I'm going to do this. However, since the infinite consciousness is guiding all these processes, I go by the feeling, how I feel. So I might buy bananas, right? And I might feel eating them right away because I have this kind of natural urgency to eat those bananas right now. It means there is a natural kind of desire from my body to receive those vitamins from those bananas right now. And sometimes I would buy bananas and they will just get spoiled in that sense. I will throw them in the canyon to the for the animals to eat in that sense, right? Because my body now doesn't want this type of vitamin. Now my body, let's say, gravitates towards watermelon or the orange. And so this intelligence is already within us. We just need to kind of listen to this, especially when we are in direct connection with the source, because source within, it knows what's for our highest and the best, and what for the best of the whole humanity in that sense, right? So additionally, I'm this type of vegan who, there is no judgment at all vegans are different, but I'm this type of vegan. I don't like the smell now or the taste of the animal flesh in that sense. I know there are many vegan products on the market that basically will resemble the taste of the animal flesh, and it's really beneficial if, for example, if some people, when they come to, let's say, realization that they would like to become a vegan for ethical, let's say, reasons, that they don't want to participate in mass murder and killing and torture and violation of the living beings, they will switch to vegan lifestyle. However, they are still attracted to the animal component, to the flavors, to the taste, because it's very difficult to break through from this type of conditioning and this type of programming, because as I stated previously in my last video, we were fed with a small spoon when we were babies. Majority of the families, we were fed as babies with the flesh of the animal. So, and flesh of the animal, it became kind of a part of our traditions, part of our social kind of structure, part of our social gatherings in that sense, right? So that's why many vegans, when they switch to this lifestyle, they feel kind of out of, I would say, they feel outsiders in the regular, I would say, regular settings in that sense, because they see the dead flesh of these animals are on the table and everyone is participating kind of like in social talks and everything else, right? So when people like this, when they switch to, some of us, when we switch to the vegan lifestyle for ethical reasons, not to participate in this mass slaughter of living beings, we actually, many are still don't want to lose the taste aspect of this, right? That's why there are so many vegan products on the market right now that basically resemble that smell or that taste of the animal flesh. Me personally, I am turned off completely from the taste or the smell of the animal flesh. In fact, when, for example, when I smell I would say, the scent of the, let's say, fried chicken in that sense, before I like the smell. Right now, I can feel this kind of almost like a rotten flesh, because when we switch to vegan lifestyle and when we exclude the animal, I would say, taste from our diet in that sense, right? It's not the dieting, it's a lifestyle. I want to make it very clear. Veganism is not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's our natural way of being in that sense. And now I'm 100% sure that this is how infinite consciousness communicates, because the loving and compassionate world cannot exist while we are mistreating, while we are killing, murdering, and torturing other living beings. It cannot exist. So while we don't have compassion within our heart for living beings, we're not going to have compassion for each other in that sense. And so what I wanted to say is that I'm this type of vegan that I don't like the smell, I don't like the taste of the animal flesh, but I'm not judging vegans who do, because it's really very difficult bond to break when we are switching from the meat diet into the vegan lifestyle. And I feel that this substituting the meat products with the plant-based products that basically have the meat and taste of the meat still, it's kind of like a step up. So in any way I'm judging, I think it's still much better than eating the I would say, the flesh of the animal in that sense. However, since our body is so intelligent, and still within our body there is such a highest intelligence that basically gravitates more the plant foods, like maybe raw vegan, right? How we were designed to eat here, like raw food. I believe more and more, most likely, this is where I'm actually headed as well, but I'm not quite sure. I'm just kind of like enjoying this process. Anyway, guys, it's becoming a longer video, but I just wanted to add those clarities. So I don't follow any, I would say, experts unless I feel it with my heart, unless I feel it with my soul, and I don't really, I would say, get vegan products that basically resemble the or mimic the flesh of the animal or the flesh of the I would say taste or the smell of the animal in that sense, right? Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and now we're going to prepare another smoothie. Love and peace. Mwah.